So in this video, I'm going to do an unboxing and setup of the Midori Traveler's Notebook. And actually, I got this notebook last year and I wanted this to be my planner for the year. But I ended up using the Erin Condren planner just because I got it for free and it was such an expensive planner and I couldn't really justify having two planners because honestly I mostly use Outlook at work and then I use my phone calendar to set up alerts for my personal life when there's an appointment or whatever. And sometimes I even miss those alerts even though they go to my phone. But can you imagine if I missed the alerts on my phone? Would I ever actually check my planner? No. So I don't. And I pretty much only use a planner for planning and scheduling my YouTube videos. So these paper planners, for me, it's mostly just the fun of putting stickers and stuff and on a nice book and using my pens and whatnot. But and I'm good for the first month. I'll use the first month, but then the rest of the year the planner just goes unused. So I really thought that this Midori notebook would be good for me because I can customize it. And I really only use the monthly planner. I don't need a weekly planner. So I use a monthly planner, plan out my videos, and then I like to have a lot of note pages or blank pages to write down stuff like ideas and thoughts. So I thought that this would be really good for me. And also, it's so beautiful. I love this leather cover. The paper is so nice. I talked about the Midori paper in my last video, but so I had this planner out on my desk and my daughter Sienna was snooping around my desk and she discovered this notebook and I think she fell in love with it because she asked me if I had another one. And no, I don't just have these Midori notebooks lying around. Well, now I do because I got one in my Zen Pop box last month if you guys saw that video. But anyway, when she asked me, I didn't have one. So what she did was she made her own. She took some black construction paper and plain paper and she got some yarn and she made her own notebook and then she decorated it with stickers like I did. I mean, my heart broke a little bit because I don't know why. I just thought it was so sweet and so resourceful, and like I also really wanted to buy her a notebook. So guess what I'm getting her for her birthday? Well, not just that, but you know. Anyway, so it's almost the end of January, and so I'm putting together my planner. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I do every year in January. Everyone makes New Year's resolutions, and my resolution was to not be so grumpy at my kids. Sometimes I get in this mood where like everyone needs to clean up their stuff and I'm just kind of angry, and so I don't want to do that. And I also want to try and be less hard on Sienna. She's my older daughter, and so I think I hold her to a higher standard, and like everything is new with her. So like with school, I'm always like at the student teacher conference, I'm always asking her teacher, okay, like what does she need to know? How can I help her with this? How can I help her with that? And like I expect her to like know all these things and do all these things. And then like with my younger daughter Valentina, I'm like I noticed at the parent teacher conference the teacher was like, do you have any questions? I was like, no, what up? Like I'm so much easier on her. It's not because I love them differently, but it's just because maybe it's because I already know what to expect with her. So like with Sienna, I don't know exactly what she's supposed to know at this level, and then with Valentina I already have experience with one kid, so I'm less hard on her. But anyway, I just want to be a better mom, I guess, and not be so grumpy sometimes. So every January I look at my life plan, and I just evaluate my situation. So when I was a new stay-at-home mom and I was starting my YouTube channel, I was looking at a lot of self-help books and self-development, and I read this one book at one point by Michael Hyatt, and it's about creating a plan for your life. So basically it's a plan for how you want to live your life, your ideal life. In a dream world, if everything was perfect, what do you want your life to look like? And there are various categories that you evaluate, and you go through each of the categories and you assess them. So you pick out the categories of things that are most important to you. So for example, my own personal, physical, and mental health. My marriage is also really important, my kids, my career, my financial situation, and my extended family and friends. Those are the categories that I picked. Hi guys, I just wanted to take a minute and give a big thank you to Rose Forever, who's sponsoring this video. And if you notice these roses in my video, they're from Rose Forever, and they make these gorgeous preserved roses. I got the white color, but they have multiple colors like pink, red, purple, blue, and they all come in a velvet box. So this one is pink, but they also have black, and I also have one that's an acrylic box that I really like. You guys may have seen it in my videos. I think this would be a great gift for Valentine's Day. They're just as nice as regular roses, but they last a lot longer. It's been holding up really well, and I've been using it as a backdrop in my videos, and I just put it up back there on my credenza, and I think it's a really nice piece. So if you guys are interested in purchasing your own roses, make sure to use my coupon code kawaiiworld25 and the link down in the description box below. So thank you guys for listening to that brief commercial. Anyway, so you pick out your categories of things that are important to you, and then for each category you write down your imagined ideal situation. So for example, for my personal health and my physical health, I would say in my ideal world, I'm healthy and fit. I exercise 5 times a week. I eat unprocessed foods regularly, and I limit my sugar intake. I'm not pre-diabetic. I feel great. I get 8 hours of sleep each night, and I take care of my body, and I start each morning with meditation and exercise. And so that's what I would be in my ideal personal and physical health situation. And so then you evaluate your current situation. So if I look at my current situation, I would say, well, I exercise 5 times per week, so I'm doing a really good job on that, but I often eat a lot of sugary foods, and sometimes I end up staying up really late at night, and in the mornings I feel tired and grumpy. And so that's just an honest evaluation of your current situation. And then you write down what you need to do to reach your goal state of life. And they have to be measurable tasks that you can accomplish. They have to be specific. So for example, I would say that in this category of things that I need to do to reach my ideal state, I will plan my meals on Sundays and ensure that I have all the groceries in my refrigerator so that I can eat well during the week. And I will set an alarm on my phone every day at 9:30, alerting me to the fact that I have to go to bed in 30 minutes, and I'll stick to that schedule. And I will wake up and start my day with a 3-minute meditation instead of picking up my phone, and to avoid creating the temptation where I will pick up my phone in the morning and spend an hour in bed just scrolling through social media, I will keep my phone in a different room from where I sleep. And so you go through each of your categories and do this, just do an evaluation, and then you can go back and reassess however often you want. And I think when I had a little more time, I would reassess after 6 months or something, but now I just reassess every year. So I go back and look at the previous year's life plan and see if we're on track. And if we're not on track, then I make new goals and try to do those things so that next year when I reevaluate, maybe I'll be in a better place. And so for the longest time, I was not in a good place in certain categories, but I was in a good place in other categories, and so I made changes. And I think if you reevaluate more often, maybe you're better able to make changes. But for me, I think it takes writing an initial plan takes a long time. I think I just took a day where my husband watched the kids, and I just went to a cafe and I thought about all these things and I wrote out my plan. And then the subsequent year, it wasn't as hard to go through that plan because I didn't have to think of everything from scratch. I think the hard part is like thinking about what your ideal life is. So that takes the most time. So once you have that done, going through that plan the subsequent years takes maybe like an hour or two, maybe less, depending on how thorough you are. But that's what I do every year, and so far it's been working pretty well. I mean, I feel like I've made progress in a lot of my goals, and the thing is your goals can change over time, so you want to read through your goals each year and think about, is that still the life that I want? Is that still what I'm wanting for myself? Or maybe you feel like you can enhance your goals in certain categories. So I think I wrote about like the kind of mom I wanted to be for my kids 5 years ago, and like now they're older, so things have changed a little bit, and I've learned a lot in the process, so I have new goals about how I can be a better mom to my kids. And so that's what I've been doing every January for maybe the past 5 years or so, and I find it to be a lot more fulfilling than doing New Year's resolutions. But I still make New Year's resolutions because I don't know, I guess I think it's kind of fun, and it feels nice to start fresh, and it's something that we talk about with our kids, so I still do that. But I do this other thing separately, and I think it's really important to write down your goals. It's not something that I always do, but I probably should do it more often. But that's something that really, I think, helps you imagine what you want in the future and work towards it. So if you don't articulate what your goals are, and if you don't write that down, then it'll probably be less likely that you achieve those goals. So yeah, that's just my process for New Year's, and I'm interested to hear what you guys do. Do you guys make resolutions? Or are there any things that you tend to do in the beginning of the year? Let me know in the comments below. So right now I'm going through my little collection of gachapons. This is not all my gachapons, but I'm looking for a little keychain or a little charm to put onto my notebook, because I noticed that everyone has a little charm to put on their Midori notebook. So I'm just going through everything. I mean, some of these are obviously not going to be appropriate, like that little Cinderella suitcase, but I'm going to find something good. And yes, we do have a lot of gachapons because I have 2 kids, and we would get like a gachapon whenever we came across the machine, and then they would just leave them around the house, and I was like, wow, these, I'm just gonna collect all of these because these are really nice, and I don't want to just throw them away in the junk box. So I collected all of the junk around the house, and I kept it, and now my kids are like, where'd you get that from? But they don't realize that it used to be theirs. So as I mentioned before, I did get this last year, and I planned on using this last year. Luckily, I got one of those calendars that you have to fill in the dates yourself, because I wasn't sure which month I was going to start it. The nice thing about the fill in the blank calendars is that you can just start it whenever, and actually I think they have an extra couple months, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck. But if you buy the pre-made calendars, you don't have to take the time to fill in all the dates, which could be kind of a hassle. So there's that benefit. But I kind of got this knowing that I might not start using it right away, and so that's why I got the blank calendar, and it worked out because I ended up not using it for like a year, and so I'm starting it for 2022. So I bought my notebook through Kawaii when I got a whole bunch of other stuff shipped to me, but I don't actually recommend using that to get these notebooks because it might end up being more expensive just because you have to pay a lot more for shipping. You can get these on Amazon, and so I got one for my daughter Sienna on Amazon, and there are other online shops that sell these notebooks. But there are a lot of fakes out there too, so you have to be careful and make sure you're getting the Midori Traveler's Notebook, because the paper on these notebooks is different. It's nicer, it doesn't bleed, and so if you want the full Midori experience, you have to get the actual Midori notebook. But I mean, getting all of the parts to the notebook, you end up spending kind of a small fortune. I think I ended up spending around like $80 US because I got various refills, and I got extra like blank and dotted notebooks, so I ended up spending kind of a lot of money. But I think you can get a starter kit for maybe around $40. And then if you want to get like the extra pieces, like the plastic inserts or extra rubber band, it runs about like $10 for each thing. So it can really add up if you want to go all out and customize it. And I put 3 notebooks into my notebook, but I think I'm going to take out one because, well, I already did take out one because I've been using this for a while after I filmed, and the 3 notebooks is kind of thick, and so having 3 notebooks in there makes it kind of hard to write on one notebook because it kind of elevates a little bit at an angle. So when you write on it, it's a little bit slanted and it's not as comfortable. So I think if you want to use a notebook comfortably, it's best to have no more than 2 notebook inserts. And then if you want to have other things like the plastic case, like the card case, either the card case or the zipper thing, like that's fine because it's really thin. But if you have 3 notebooks like I put in here, it kind of gets really thick, and so I actually had to take out the calendar book to write on it. It was just a lot more comfortable to take it out. So just my opinion, but I think, you know, people do various things. You could also like just keep it in there, and then when you're writing on it, you could take out the insert, but it ends up being a lot of work that way. And another thing I learned after decorating this is I spent so much time decorating the inside cover, but like you really have to focus more on the outside cover, because you don't, when you flip through your notebook, you don't see the inside cover that much. You always see the outside cover. So I put way too many decorations on the inside cover and not enough on the outside cover. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm kind of a newbie to this notebook, so if you guys have any tips on using this or any interesting things to say about it, then I'd be interested to hear in the comments down below. So I am no pro at brush lettering, but when I was younger, I always used to practice different kinds of lettering. Like I would try bubble letters and calligraphy, and I also practiced some brush lettering, but I haven't done that in a while. And I've been meaning to take a few Skillshare classes on how to do brush lettering because I really need to practice. Or I think you just really need to practice, because when you start out at something, you're obviously not going to be good at it the first time. Maybe some people are, but I need some practice. And so it's not going to look that pretty, but if you keep working on it and practicing, you'll get better. And I think just that process of learning how to do something is really satisfying. So I found this really cute tape. Actually, I bought a set of tapes on Amazon, and this was one of them that came with it, and so I was really excited because it was day of the week washi tape, and it could be kind of expensive on Etsy, and it's not always available. It always seems like it's sold out. This was so pretty because it had the lavender back with the gold lettering, and so I think this is like my perfect color scheme because light purple is my favorite color lately, and it always looks great on gold. But you guys will see in a minute, there's a problem with this tape. So I was making some progress. It was really slow and tedious to, you know, cut out these pieces of tape to fit my planner calendar. But oh my gosh, at some point, I found out there was no Wednesday stickers, no Wednesday labels on here. Can you guys believe that? So I just had to take everything off and then write it in by hand. So I kind of wanted to get some stickers or some special stamps to fill in these days, but I just wanted to get January out of the way so that I could go ahead and put some information into my planner so I could like plan out my YouTube videos. So I just wrote it in for January. Why? And then after I took the time to fill in the whole month, I just realized that I skipped a page. So January was on the page where February should be, and at that point I just had to set this aside and move on to something else because I was so frustrated. And I thought hopefully putting stickers on something would make me feel a little bit better, but I was just done with the calendar for that day. So lately I'm kind of obsessed with these individual sticker shops. There's so many designers out there who just make their own stickers, print out their own kawaii drawings. And I make kawaii graphic designs. If you didn't know, I have a shop on Redbubble, but at this point I don't really have it in me to start a small business or try to sell anything. But I do want to try and print some of my own stickers just for my own purposes and my own uses. So I'm kind of looking into, different ways of doing that. I don't want to get a Cricut. I actually have a Cricut from when the Cricuts first came out, and it's really old, and it was just used for cutting things, and I still have it. I never use it, like never ever. But it's so old I can't sell it or get rid of it. So I don't want to get a Cricut, but I think I kind of want to get a nicer inkjet printer, because my current inkjet printer is maybe 10 or more years old. It is insanely slow, and it no longer connects to my MacBook because it's just not compatible. I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I can't connect it to my MacBook, so my new MacBook. So I had it connected to my old MacBook, and then at some point that MacBook got it just stopped working. I couldn't update it anymore, so I had to wipe out my hard drive, and now I don't have the printer driver installed on that computer anymore, so I can't print to my inkjet printer. So I would have to send files to my husband's PC and print from there, and it's just way too much of a hassle. So I'm looking into new inkjet printers. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. If you guys print your own stickers, I'd be curious to know what that process is like. And also if you have any recommendations on videos of people who print their own stickers, I'd be really interested to do that. So I think it's just really fun to watch those videos where people are packing their shop orders. And the funny thing is, when my daughter Valentina was really young, we would ask our kids, or people just ask your kids, everyone asks your kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember the first time we asked her that question, she said she wanted to be a princess. Oh no, actually before that she wanted to be a maker, which is a baker, because she enjoyed baking with me. Then she wanted to be a princess, and then her next occupation was to open up a sticker shop. And she has since changed her mind, but when I see people having their own sticker shops, it reminds me of what my daughter wanted to do at one point in her life. Now she has changed her mind. My kids change their minds all the time, and by the way, I don't think that's a fair question for people. I think that you don't have to choose one occupation. You can be many things, and you could change your career throughout your lifetime. So I know within our culture we feel pressured or compelled to fit into a box and be one thing. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be a graphic designer or a programmer, but you can change your mind and you can do different things, and you might have to start from scratch, which is always kind of scary and hard, but I think that you shouldn't be afraid to try something new or to make a change, because if it's gonna make you happy, then it's probably worth it in the end. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this really long video. I'm probably going to do some more of these Midori videos if you guys enjoy it. So let me know what you like to see, and as always, I want to give a big thank you to my Patreons and channel members. Michelle, Safarino, Danielle, Catherine, V, Pinball Review Repairs, and Aaron, as well as Sanyo, Cam, and Crafty Avino. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.